In today's brief video, I'm going to share with you guys a simple 4-step technique called future self-talk that's going to save you a lot of time, money, and headache when it comes to your sobriety regarding quitting weed, quitting alcohol, quitting gambling, quitting adult media content, really overcoming any addiction. Now, if you're new to the channel, real quick, my name's Dr. Frank. I'm the founder of AddictionMindset recovery coaching programs, and I have the goal of making sobriety accessible to everyone. So if you wind up enjoying today's video, you can learn more about our free and paid recovery coaching program resources and products with the links in the pinned comment and the links in the video description. Okay, future self-talk and how it works. So let's say you're getting a craving because you're at a holiday party to drink alcohol or to smoke weed. And let's say you're a few weeks into your sobriety. Or maybe it's a different scenario. Maybe you just hit a really stressful event at your job or in your business, and you're thinking about going back to smoking weed to cope. What I want you to do is I want you to pause, and step 1 is going to be to visualize your future self. Now, this is a sober version of you. I want you to visualize what they look like. I want you to think about what they feel like. I want you to think about where they're located, the clothes that they're wearing. What's the scene that you're talking in? Are you in an office? Are you in a car? Are you in a more casual environment like at a coffee shop? And how do they speak? But how do they speak? Do they sound firm in their tone? Do they sound confident? Do they sound enthusiastic and motivated? Okay, so first, visualize future version of you. And this is a version of you that has, is maybe a few years, maybe a few decades ahead of where you're at today, right? They've achieved all the things that you're trying to achieve currently. Now, which if you're watching this is probably staying sober. It's probably why you're watching this. All right, step number 2. I want you to ask future you a question. And I want you to ask it a question surrounding the situation that you are currently struggling with. So I'm going to talk to my future self, and I'm going to say, future Frank, I'm at this Christmas party and I'm really thinking I should get stoned and have a few drinks because work has just been beyond stressful. What do you think I should do? How do you think I should handle this situation? And then I'm going to wait to see what future Frank tells me back. And what I'm going to do is future Frank is probably going to say something like, hey, listen, you've been doing really good staying sober. You've been consistent in the gym. Your nutrition's been better. You're making more money. And if future Frank is really smart, he's going to ask current Frank, what makes drinking right now worth it? What makes smoking weed right now worth it? So future Frank, if I'm really good at this, is going to ask the current version of Frank, what makes it worth it? Current version of Frank is going to say, you're right, I am doing better financially, physically, mental health wise. I don't know what makes it worth it. I guess it's not worth it. Now, go a step further. After asking future version of yourself for the answers to whatever current problem it is you're facing, write those answers down, or even better yet, record the conversation between current self and future self, okay? So I'll give you an example of what this would look like recording it. And I'm going to use the name Morpheus. I refer to my future self as Morpheus, and I'll explain why in a moment. So, because I use this technique all the time for my business, for my relationships. Anytime I have a problem, I do my own mini therapy session, okay? So here I am, Frank, current Frank, and I'm having a problem. I have a craving to drink alcohol at a family dinner coming up, which I never have anymore. But let's say that was the situation, okay? So I would say, hey, Morpheus, I'm just checking in with you. I'm at this dinner right now, and everyone's drinking. It's a nice, beautiful day here in Florida. We're on vacation. I'm thinking I want to get loaded and then maybe go ask the doorman for some weed, because smoking some weed tonight, sitting out on the hotel balcony looking over the ocean sounds great. Morpheus, what do you think I should do? I'm really struggling with this right now. I can't stop thinking about it. Morpheus, okay. Frank, honestly, man, you've been sober for a long time. You've built a beautiful business for yourself. You have a beautiful wife, a beautiful child. I actually think what you should do tonight is plan an event to go take your wife and child to. maybe take them to go see a movie, maybe take them to go to an outdoor restaurant. Heck, Frank, if you really want to enjoy the ocean, take them down to the beach at night. Go get some flashlights, take them down to the beach at night, and maybe walk along the water, walk along the shoreline. And also, it's going to give you some exercise, so you're going to feel good about that too. And you know what, man? You got to pack up. You're getting ready to leave in 2 days from vacation. You're going to want that energy to pack. A kid, your wife, it takes a lot of energy to get everyone back on a plane. So that's what I think you should do. And honestly, it's probably going to pay off in the long run if you stick to that plan. Yeah, you're right, Morpheus. Thank you for the advice. And then I'm going to watch that video back. Now, I don't have conversations that, I don't want to say simplistic, but that's simplistic about myself. Usually now, today, I'm trying to solve some larger scale business problem or like deep personal issue, whatever. But you get the gist. Now, after you record it, that was step 3. Step 4 is going to actually be implementing the advice that future you gave you. So if my advice to myself was, hey, don't smoke weed and get drunk, go for a walk on the beach, that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go for a walk on the beach. That's what's going to happen. And this is where so many people fall short. It's steps 3 and 4. Most people won't write it down or they won't record it. And I highly recommend recording this conversation that you're having with yourself, because not only does it sound crazy when we listen to ourselves talk, like, wow, that was so dumb, I was thinking to go get loaded right now. But it also will make you a better speaker. Listen to how many times you say, maybe you should, well, I don't know. Listen to that. If you get used to recording yourself, you'll become a better speaker, and that can lead to higher levels of confidence, which can result in more success in most areas of life, relationships, business, whatever it is, okay? So step 3 and step 4, obviously being implementing whatever the advice was. If you don't implement it, this whole conversation was a major waste of time. And honestly, at that point, you might as well have gone and smoked, because you would have saved yourself the time of this conversation. Because a big part of addiction recovery and not doing drugs is reclaiming your time. And if you don't already, maybe it's relearning on how to value your time. And if you get good input from someone, even if it's a future version of yourself, and you don't implement that input, and you went through this conversation and you didn't act on it, it was a waste of time. Just like doing drugs, waste of time. Okay, now, bonus tip, give future you a different name. We tend to take advice better from others than we take it from ourselves. Like, most people can give other people really good advice. Most people will listen to other people, but most people won't take our own advice, even though we know what's best for us. So that's why I recommend give future you a different name, because you're probably more willing to take advice from someone else than you are yourself, okay? The reality is, for most people when it comes to substance use and addiction, yes, there was outside factors. Maybe you had trauma and a messy family life, or maybe you just really loved getting drunk and celebrating because your life was always fun. And whatever happened, maybe you think it's genetics and you're addicted because of that, because you have some gene and whatever. Okay, but at the end of the day, you made the choice to use this substance. You ultimately got yourself into addiction, and that's a really good thing, because it's you who can pull yourself out of addiction. And that's why when it comes to making decisions about your substance use or not substance use, the best person to talk to is yourself, because you are the one who is in control of this situation. No one else is. No outside factor is. Okay? Unless you allow it to be control of this situation, then that's a whole nother set of other problems. If you don't think you have control over this and you don't think you have a choice, then chances are you've fallen for the recovery, system and the indoctrination of recovery and this idea that you're diseased and you're helpless, and that's a whole nother problem, okay? But it's you who got yourself into it. It's you who can get yourself out of it. So there's no better person to have a conversation with than yourself. Now, I get it. You might need help with this. And if you do need help, we have a free 7-step guide to quitting weed. We have the complete ebook on quitting weed and overcoming addiction. It's a rough draft ebook that I plan on getting published one day. 90-something pages, I think, of pretty good content, all for free. We have one-on-one coaching programs where we can talk about more techniques just like this to help you create a shift in mindset when it comes to putting down the substances and getting sober. We have our supplements. If it's withdrawals that you're struggling with, we have our Kick It Crave Less chewing gum that contains N-acetylcysteine and KSM-66 ashwagandha to help reduce cravings and reduce stress and anxiety while you're going through those initial withdrawal symptoms. And then, to top it off, we have a free 7-day trial to our Addiction Mindset group coaching community where I go live with a group of about 50 people twice a week. One time a week, we're talking about addiction recovery and quitting drugs and the pursuit of whatever, excelling in sobriety. And then another day of the week, we're talking about entrepreneurship, building a personal brand, building a business for yourself. So we're usually getting some pretty motivated people in that community. You can find all that stuff in the links in the pinned comment. Until next time.